regards to the detail.
That's a bit of a different, kind of a separate animal that is maintained by the tax assessment office and the GIS mapping department at the county level. It's kind of apples and oranges to compare that necessarily to our official map.
But you can't use their information and
No,
or use that.
I think that you certainly could. That's not to say that the boundaries that they list on the GIS mapping system are necessarily accurate or been fully surveyed and that kind of stuff.
Well, the GPS aren't accurate all the time.
Bonnie, did we budget for this?
I mean, they have a budget. Hold on a second. They have $3,000 budgeted for the year. They've used $35.
So it's budgeted underneath the planning commission? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
There wasn't,
What are you,
it wasn't,
but what are you looking at?
I'm just looking at what our budget was for 2016. Like, we put in $3,000 from the
What I'm saying is what underneath what item?
planning commission.
Under
planning
It's just
commission,
under
yeah.
planning commission.
yeah, I don't think it was known at the time that we were going to look at it
Yeah,
yet, so,
Steve, I didn't hear that. Is that $3,000 for the planning commission?
Yes.
In the budget?
yes.
Okay, I couldn't hear. You got, one thing I did ask last time.
I know, we have to get a
We
mic.
need a
for
mic
it.
over there, and we need a mic that works in the township,
Yeah.
all right?
I would just like to see another, at least add some other companies that did it. I would just like to see one other company compare prices.
I would as well.
Yeah, I mean, just,
I mean, just want another.
I don't have so much time.
I realize that.
It took
Yeah.
a hell of a lot of time just to get to this, you know.
Mike, do you know some other companies offhand that do this?
Yeah, we can, there are a lot of land planners out there who
Township.
can shop. I can give the names to.
It'd
just be nice to have
Down here next to
comparison.
the-
I even saw one say that they used their township engineer to compare it. That's one of the municipalities responded back, you know,
Some do that.
yeah. Yeah, if you can just forward on to the board, I'd just like to see one more price comparison.
Yeah,
just to
Okay,
see
well
what-
then, I mean, yeah, I would as well, so I guess I'll withdraw the motion at this point until we try and get another quote, just for comparison, just to know what's
That
out
was
there.
awesome.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept the Chester County 2020 proposal for master planner program event with the first of series recommended by the East Fallowfield Planning Commission. Questions or comments? Mrs. Scott?
Is that the cost of $1,500?
No, it's $155 per person.
Well, there you go, you don't have the money in the budget. And I would tell you that I attended, as I told you, what good did it do me? What good did my knowledge, what did it do me? I wasn't even allowed to be on the planning commission. And yet I attended and I got the credits for it. So I find it unnecessary and another rigged, railroaded situation that the township taxpayers they're not gonna come and attend this. And had they had to pay for the one that Nancy Moore put on, they wouldn't have attended it either. It was just yada, 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 and here's the way it's gonna be. This is a private organization. And I do not want to spend public funds to, quote, educate people regarding planning.
I would suggest it be tabled for further study, because actually, the gentleman here, Mr. Stevens, has it, I guess, the documents with regards to the program, and I'm not sure the board has actually looked at it, or whether you brought it tonight, that's the first amount of information we have. So I would suggest that it be tabled for further discussion in the future.
We have discussed it in the past, maybe not to the full extent we did this evening, but we have discussed it in the past as something that the planning commission was looking to do. And so, I mean, there has been some discussion on it already. This is not the first night of discussion. Mr. Rhodes?
In reference, you just got this tonight, I don't know if you got this or not. So, yeah, there's been discussion on a lot of things with planning. How many planning commission members ago, we had Mr. Gerber resign? How many do we actually have? Have we had any new people just got on board, or people are there in the planning commission? I'm asking Steve.
I believe there are 5.
5, and it's supposed to be, what, 7?
That part I don't remember off the top of my head.
Pardon?
So, that part I don't remember off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
you have those.
Yep.
We're down to 5,
Five.
we had 7.
I didn't hear you speak up, sir.
We're down to 5, we had 7.
Yeah, 7 is what's usually on the planning commission.
Right.
So you're down, you need 2 new people in there. I would just like this gentleman would say, table this, this is not gonna go away. And hopefully we can put, not only are you gonna have to get for a Baker Street chair or a new, put out for a new supervisor, I would just, and same with the planning commission, and also the park thing has been building up. We have new people there, and hopefully we get more new people. There should be a newsletter going out, some kind of thing put in Webster Store, well, I keep on calling Webster Store, Triple Fresh, all right? And we only had basically two stores, one's a little shop down there, and Triple Fresh. Put some kind of notice out there, people put notice there, and not everybody has a website, all right? So you're gonna need 2 more people on the planning commission. It would be nice if you're gonna have that, to educate the new people, and also ask any board members, are they interested out of the 5? And then therefore, you would make a decision, or if I had 4 or 5 that are interested, that'd be 5 times 155, all right? And it's still less than 1,000, all right? But basically, you're doing it for the planning commission, or the board of supervisors. We're lucky, even one supervisor came from Valley, maybe he would need to update on some planning commission, because that's something that eventually might come down the road, even though I can tell you right now, the area that can be development is not going to be King Ranch. And I think the planning commission chairman knows this area will never be developed, all right? That's 100-acre lots. So most of the townships are already been developed out where Strunk's property, Westchester Road, most of the areas in East Fallowfield has already been developed. There's not that much open ground there. Even the farm across me has a restriction. Strunk's property has a restriction. So I would table this just like the one gentleman. It's not something that you have to jump on tonight. I think this gentleman did a good job presenting it. I think the planning commission needs to go back to them, find out how many guys are interested, or ladies, and try to build up the planning commission. That would be the first project, any supervisors to try to get a full board on, just like we do in the historical commission. And hopefully we can get the parks. I mean, we got we got acres of grounds over there, and we're having a thing there, you're throwing on the office here, which is already said they're overloaded, which the plant, used to be, the park used to do it themselves. Jim Sis and all them people used to do that themselves, do that. You don't tow that on to the township responsibility. That is a park's responsibility. That is with West Cowan and Cowan Township. The office people don't do that. It's the people that are in the planning commission and also in the parks down in Cowan Township puts on that big show down there, and volunteers. So thank you.
Are you looking to have the whole board go, or is the whole board interested?
The idea is to get as many different boards, different commissions in the township as possible to look at how the structure works for a township, how it works from the planning. Tonight's meeting sounds like our first night that we sat down and started the planning, or the comprehensive plan, We had all these varying opinions of different things, and everybody had their own bias, had their own knowledge and lack of knowledge coming into one group, and we're trying to do what's best for the township as a whole, and advise the board as to what that is. And I think that...
Dennis, can I ask you a question, not to cut you off?
Yeah,
Just focusing on the structure, like to Steve's point, it sounds like you want to open this up for like an entire room for, I mean, he gave us like 3 different plans. which plan do you feel?
Our recommendation that we talked about in the planning commission is to have it, do it ourselves at the $16.50 price. We looked at trying to, our best recommendation from us was to have it where we had the water workshop at the emergency service building, because it's set up so well for educational type purposes and stuff.
If it was the $155 per student, the other course up at Penn State, do you feel a lot of the board members would not go because of time?
Planning commission board members?
Yeah, that's right.
No, we wouldn't go.
You wouldn't go. So that
I've already
method,
taken
three
the
that you
course.
spoke about.
One of the other people who just resigned took the course. I think the general feeling across the planning commission board is, why are we even coming together? Because our recommendations and things are just going on deaf ears. And some of the things are not getting passed. We did the comprehensive plan as requested. We've started forward on it. We've made recommendations, and all the higher priority things are going to the wayside. And I just think this has to do more with systems and structure than anything.
Well, I mean, Dennis, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, it's kind of taking off the deep end, in my opinion, to respond to that. But it's, I mean, we're listening. I mean, I'm just trying to, the cost per student is obviously greater at the $16.50 if we don't have enough people showing up. Maybe some supervisors might want to show up at that. But if you have 5 members that say they want to go, at least that brings us to about a little bit under $1,000. And then we're looking at $650 for additional. You have gone all over the place a little bit with some of the stuff because you were talking about other municipalities coming. So I've always tried to narrow what you say down to something that I can contain and understand. And so is that where you're still at? You're trying to get other municipalities to come to this event?
With our budget for the planning commission, this is what we want our money to be going for.
Okay.
But if the board of supervisors, the historic commission, the planning commission, the park and rec, and some of these others are not interested in it whatsoever, then we feel like just scrapping the whole thing.
Well,
We were never
I'm just,
asked.
wait on that. If we had all 5 members of the planning commission members going, you guys still would want to scrap it if the historic commission didn't show up, or, I mean, we can't. We have no.
It's the township, it's not just the planning commission. What's your idea of what the planning commission does? Last month, I got it from Wilson, that all we're supposed to do is just look at developments and subdivisions, and that's it.
The problem.
What's your idea of what we're supposed to do?
Well, what, I like that you're trying to get further education. Like, I went to the county, I think their only event, which was the Government 101 training that the county had. I went to that course. It didn't cost anything other than my time, but they did give me a certificate in the end. I understand the need for further education here because there's a lot here with the NPC and to learn all this, but I can't, I think the NPC, it applies more to the planning commission or your concerns. I'm not hearing the historic commission in here with problems or the park and rec at the level that you're talking about. So I'm looking at this as a planning commission, maybe some supervisors might go, but I don't want other municipalities there if they're not paying for the course. Or other people walking in the door, that's some of my concerns there, to something that you said last time. If they're paying, or if we can put together something
And I
else.
see them paying, and that helps cut some of our costs.
Have you spoken to any of the municipalities?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I want
Well, I mean, we have a motion.
I want a venue, I want a time,
Sure.
Our group thinks once a month. Will's, from their experiences, saying, that's
How
too
about
far
this, Dennis?
between
We'll bounce
courses.
it back to the Chester County 2020 and say that, are you able to obtain any other municipalities for possibly a venue of 16?
I would be willing as a volunteer to help with an effort to canvass municipalities in this region. I wouldn't mind.
And see if we
That's
can get some others.
one of the
split
reasons
costs
that
up.
only one person from Highland has come is that the folks in Highland don't feel like driving to Westchester at night for 3 hours.
Right.
So, I'd be.
They're closer than we are.
Yeah, but it's the perception, they go all the way over there.
No, not from Unionville. You
Well-
go on 162.
Yeah, but that's a lot of people look at it that way. But I'd be willing to, as a volunteer, to put the word out and see if we could assemble a class.
That's a good idea.
And we've got a little more than, what is it, we got August and September. So that gives us a couple of months to try to put together a meaningful class. And if that doesn't pan out, you know, there's still the regularly scheduled class on October 6th.
Sure, and Dennis, to that point, I mean, there's a point where we can actually save some money, because if we have other municipalities or other people kicking in, we might be able to bring this down to $50 a head. I mean, you know, as far as our, or whatever our contribution is, if there's 3 municipalities kicking in.
You never know how that's gonna play out.
Yeah,
I
I mean, it's just, it's
I need
worth,
the help.
if he's willing to ask the question, and they're the organization having the event technically, it can bring down our costs if they say, hey, you know, it looks like East Fallowfield's contribution is $500. Because if I had to do a per person rate, and luckily no one wants to do that, I would say, if you completed the course, then I would be in favor of reimbursing. Because I'm worried about everyone saying they wanna go, and then you're the only one that completes it, and then, you know, it's great that you completed it, but everyone else didn't complete it. So it was technically, you know, it was great money investment for you, but not necessarily for them. How's that, Dennis? If we can get a little bit of feedback within the next couple of weeks, just to see if some other municipalities wanna kick in.
And see if we
Yeah,
can get,
I might even attend myself.
I would say, and I would put it out to the other commissions or boards too, and see if anyone there is interested. That way we can get, it doesn't have to be a solid number, but, you know, say, okay, we know we can get probably at least 12 people.
Well, that's what I'm looking
So-
at, if we at least agree to do it, then we're making a commitment to do it. And then
Right, but I
I'll
think
ask
it's
them, we put out how many's gonna register and come.
right, and that's what we're trying, I think if we just give it a few more weeks and determine, can we get enough from neighboring municipalities that are willing to help pay for the cost of it?
I'm
and
more
do that.
interested in our municipality more than the other.
Well, yeah, I know, but if we're gonna,
Doesn't hurt, but
if we're gonna host it for $1,650 and 6 people, you know, that's not cost effective at the end of the day. And if we can get others in and make it a more valuable class and it can help them out, get other people educated as well, you know, I'm all for that. But I think if we have a better idea that yes, we can get that 10, 11, 12 people to come between our municipality, the other, you know, the planning commission, the historical, the park and rec, the board, you know, and then other municipalities to fill in to see where we can get and get a better idea. It doesn't have to be a solid yes, but, you know, fairly solid that they're willing to do it. Then I think we could probably move forward with it and go, you know, everybody would probably be okay with that and be willing to move forward.
Yes,
I
I'm
just
glad
like
you
to throw out one thing, excuse me. The zoning board is actually a board that's very important, the zoning board, along with the planning commission, all right? Some of your planning commissioners are on the historical commission, all right? They play 3 different roles, all right? And I'm just saying, the zoning officer, not the zoning officer, the zoning board, which is not filled yet either. I don't think, is it filled now? Because it wasn't.
It was, it is.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, is the zoning board filled?
Yes,
So the 3 people?
yeah, Nelson Walters is on the board.
Waters came on, because I know we were down one.
Yeah.
But that there would be ideal, the zoning
Yep.
board being included.
Yeah.
More so than
That's what
any
we're saying.
other board,
Yep.
except for
We
planning.
just need to ask the question, so we'll
Yeah.
send, Lisa, if you
And
will
then
send
we
an
can-
email tomorrow.
But you
take
gotta
it out
ask
all the
them.
commissions and ask
Yeah.
them.
And you can see if other municipalities are willing to do it, so. Yeah,
Yeah, could I ask Mr. Crook a question? You know, I heard you say that, there were proposals that the planning board put forward and evidently nobody acted on it. Could you name those type proposals, or?
I'm sorry, I'm not
You
following you.
made proposal, you were making accusations.
I thought you said
To the
that,
board.
that you made, the planning board made proposals that no one was acting on, or, you know, you said
Yes.
something to that
We
effect?
made recommendations from
Okay.
the comprehensive plan. We brought them forward a number of times. I even used the word,
And the costs?
No, you know, because at the last meetings that I've been at, I've heard you say that you wanted to have this map, and I'm not sure what it is, because, you know, but that's beside the point. I mean, I hear you saying that you want to have this map for the township, but that's the only thing that I've heard that ever came out of your mouth as far as the planning board was concerned.
yeah, I mean, there's been other things, I'm sure, but, you know,
Okay, let's move on.
so I think we're just gonna move on. We'll table this until we get some more information and people is interested, we can bring it back up if we have it at
You
the
wanna check the
workshop.
townships.
If if we have a better idea, we can bring it up then, if not, then the next regular board meeting.
Yeah, it's just like with the $1,650. That was when someone would come out here, right? And you would get a group together.
Yes.
In other words, they would be here, as opposed to the other way, that people have to go at different
Correct.
times.
That's correct.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My schedule's tight tonight.
Moving on, does anybody have, either of you have anything for Mike?
I just had one more question for Mr. Crowe. The planning commission was gonna put together the list of the questions on any open developments as well as zoning changes you'd be considering. I don't know if you had a chance to do that yet.
No, said we were doing too much, so we put the agenda down smaller, but, thanks for reminding me, I'll put that on for the next one.
Just on the website, do we have the 2 open spots for the planning commission up? Do you know?
If not, can we push it up?
Yeah. Ask for volunteers, yeah.
Anybody need Mike for anything else? Yeah, I think we passed that on to the zoning board.
They said possibly Park and Rec, there's nothing in our ordinance and most likely for liability purposes to say no.
They wanted to park-wide?
Out of the park.
Park?
Yes.
We're gonna check on your bills.
Yeah.
What's the solicitor's bill? I want to say that there.
All right, there's nothing else for you then, so
Okay.
we'll leave Mike, thank
Have a
you.
great night, guys.
You too. Police department, the police report is submitted in the back. Do you have anything to add to it, Chief?
No, that's everything I have.
Okay. Public Works, June Road Department reports are in the back. Mortonville Road Bike Event, is that you? Somebody?
What's that, Nasty?
The Mortonville Road Bike Event?
Yeah, they wanna, have a bike event on, September
Can we
seventeenth.
keep it down, folks, please?
September 17th, they wanna have a,
Hold on a second, Tag. Please, guys, please, try to listen.
September 17th, Brandywine, they would bike, they would like to have they wanna know if they can use that part of Mortonville Road that goes across from Sawmill over to Strasburg. And he said that the Friday before the event, he would send a few people out and we'd try to clean that road up a little bit so nobody gets hurt.
When are they looking to do it?
Yeah,
You said 17th?
yeah, we get out there, we gotta go out there and clean it up a little bit.
You said September 7th?
September 17th, yeah. And he just wants to know if it'd be okay to use it or not. It's up to the board.
Well, how they,
With the barricades, everyone
Barricades,
just
how they get
circle
through?
around it or something?
Yeah, they always go around it, so,
He pushes
I don't think they were room.
He pushes them around.
yeah. But, you know, he was nice enough to say, you know, he'd send 4 or 5 people out that Friday and try to
He would.
clean up, yeah.
Okay.
So, he just wants to know if it's all right or not.
For them to clean up the road?
No, if it's all right, if they can use,
They can go ahead and clean up the
if
road.
they can, you know, have the bikes go across there or not, that's all.
I mean, our study was for vehicles, so.
It's already been people walking through there anyway,
Yeah.
with dogs and you name it.
Yeah, so, I mean, bikes, I can't imagine it's gonna be that much.
Yeah, just maybe ask Mike to say, put a sign at your own risk or something.
Yeah, whatever.
Covers our butt.
Covers us,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the other thing I got here, are we gonna okay the seal cracking for Seal Master at, $5,210?
Yeah, you can take that out of liquid fuels, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I just need the board to make an okay on it, that's all. I just can't,
All right, yeah,
it's up to the board.
Let's get on the
I'll
bike
make a-
thing first.
there wasn't a motion on it, so.
Yeah, roads planned out and everything.
Question
Where
on
you going with
bikes.
that? Yeah, roads planned out, where you going with it, or?
Yeah, like I said, I like to use it over at Britton Station.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Alright.
If you know, if you
Is
wanna
that
ride
something
around,
you-
we can ride around, see if anywhere else you'd like to use it, so.
Is that something you're looking to do in the next 2 weeks, or could we get that list of roads
We
and
usually-
have an
we-
official?
We usually like to use it at end of September, because it's a little bit.
Okay, so we could vote on it at the next.
That's
meeting.
correct.
Okay, so I would say move it to the next meeting, we can vote on it.
That's fine. But I still need we got the okay with the bikes?
I don't know if we need them.
Yeah, I don't know if they need a motion or not. I mean, I would just say, just, Lisa, just send an email off to Mike. Just asking, you know, just-
Mike Crowder.
Yeah, see if we need what we need for that, for insurance and all that, and then we'll we can, if we need to make a motion on it, we can do it either at the workshop or the other thing.
But Ted, if there's no motion needed, we can probably get your response in a day.
Yeah. The winter traffic services agreement?
Question, Sarah, I didn't hear that about what Mr. Porter said. We're talking about the bikes, and I got lost in the little muffle back.
Just making sure that it's the insurance and that we're.
No, that's what I was asking about
Yes.
the insurance on it.
If it's okay, yeah.
That's the only question I would have about the insurance. And also, if Mr. Tagg was talking about Friday, they work 7 to 2:30.
Three.
If we're doing Friday, is this gonna be overtime for the road
No,
department?
it's not the road, it's the people doing the bike.
No, the road department's gonna have to be down
Oh, well,
there. Somebody has to be down there
Somebody-
moving the barricade. You got,
We work 7 to 3 now.
well, what time's the bike people there? A lot of them work during the day, so that means they're gonna be there after work.
No, this Brandywine Conservative.
I know what Brandywine, because I know
But they're gonna send their people down to help us during the daytime.
Kevin Freiberger and them, yeah, with Brandywine, sir, I know
I think
Kevin
his-
runs it.
His name's Robert Daniels.
Yeah, Daniel, but
Yeah.
Kevin Freiberger runs
He
it.
promised to send guys down during the daytime.
All right, but I'm just wondering, is it gonna be overtime
No,
in
it'll be
reference
during
to our
the
road
daytime.
department?
It'll be during the day.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
maybe some people might laugh, but overtime affects the budget.
Yes. So, winter traffic services agreement?
That traffic,
Yeah, I
It's
saw
for-
that in here.
PennDOT sent their winter traffic service agreement. It gives you the updated rates. It's slightly more than last year.
Okay.
You need to run it.
They don't need any action from us at this point.
Just that you're okay with continuing with the winter traffic services agreement
Yep.
as stated. If that's okay with the board, then I can, because it does request a contact person. I was gonna put you and myself or tag unless one of the board members would like to.
That's fine, I mean, I would see if we need a motion to accept it. We can have that.
We haven't had it. But
Yeah, okay. Okay. Fire departments, Medina and Westwood reports are in the back. Yeah, you have anything to,
I'm good.
you're good? All right. Park and Rec, we have the report here and in the back. No members here today.
Can I question how many members we need for the Park and Rec?
We have 5.
You have 5.
And we need 7 on that also, is it?
We don't need 7, 5 is fine.
Okay. I don't know, the planning commission and usually have 6 or 7 on the parks also, but if you have 5, that's better than
Yep.
0.
Correct. Historical Commission, Buddy, do you have anything?
No, they're still working on the bridge over there.
Is that still supposed to be this fall? when
Yeah,
they're
that's
done?
supposed to be this fall, and the only other thing is, the demolition work down in Mortonville, the gentleman never did get a demolition permit, all right? And down Mount Palmer Road, evidently, I don't know who mowed that, if the township did or the lady had the contractor come in, no, schoolhouse on Mount Palmer Road.
Church.
All right, somebody mowed that, but that gentleman passed away. All right, so that's a problem that the Historic Commission and the zoning office is gonna have to take in, because he knocked down all the plaster, so that means that stone has fine sand in it, and it'll deteriorate it more. So it's a sad situation where the gentleman that bought it has passed away when he came to the planning, the Historic Commission, but there's a couple of historical things that are in the township that's going to have to be addressed at our next meeting. There was a problem with the train and people getting out of Philadelphia for our last meeting. So
Okay.
we might have a work section to bring up some of the items down in Mortonville and some of the items we have on Ropefield Road that the zoning officer is not going after. I'll just say,
Okay.
he's been lax on it. It all depends who they are.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Treasurer's reports. I'll make a motion to approve the June 30, 2016 Treasurer's report as presented.
I added a new page at the end. I believe one of our residents last month had asked about how much our payment authorizations were in comparison to other months. So I put together analysis for that on a chart so you can kind of see the ups and downs of it.
Second. Questions or comments?
So, Connie, the only thing, I'm having a problem every time I look at this, is that the legal fee analysis that you have in here, like this is something that you created. I just don't get the analysis, because, like, I understand, like, that at times, the former law firm had higher prices, and then we have lower prices this year and higher. But there's never this, it's not a consistent base to do an analysis, because there's always different legal issues. So all you're doing is pointing out a figure of ups and downs.